Texas State Board of Education is famous among science popularizers, mostly for being a gigantic shit show for the past decade or so. The board had for a long time determined exactly which textbooks all of the public schools in Texas would order. And as the second biggest textbook market in the country after California, and with California not buying textbooks due to budget concerns, the textbook publishers would focus all of their standards on whatever standards were set by the Texas State Board of Education. And those standards were batshit insane. The Texas State Board of Ed at the time was controlled by the religious right, which had a focus on sneaking language into their standards that would undermine evolution and allow intelligent design to work its way into the curriculum. In addition to that, they also did things like downplay slavery in history textbooks, pretend that the founding fathers were all Christian, and pretend that global warming just isn't really a thing. These days, individual school districts don't have to purchase the books that the Texas State Board of Ed recommends. But a lot of them don't realize all of the options available to them, and the Board of Ed still does present a huge influence on their buying choices. As it should, really, that's what a state board of education should be doing, is setting standards that all of the individual school districts should be trying to reach. Unfortunately, the Texas State Board of Ed has continued to be batshit insane, and things are about to get even crazier thanks to one woman running for an open board position this year, Mary Lou Bruner. She nearly had enough votes to just win the seat outright during the primary, but she got 48% of the vote instead of the 50% of the vote required to do that, so she has to at least go through the motions of running a campaign. That's good news for us because it means that in the meanwhile, we can all spread the news about her in the hopes that Texas will wake up and make sure that literally anyone but her gets this seat. To give you an idea of why, let's talk about some of her views. First of all, evolution. Obviously, she doesn't believe in it. She does believe in the story of Noah's Ark, and she believes that baby dinosaurs were on the Ark. But unfortunately, once they got off, there wasn't enough vegetation left to keep them alive, and they were unable to reproduce because they were babies. So they all died. And she says that the fossil record proves her theory, using theory not in the scientific sense, obviously, because she says that the fossils show the dinosaurs in positions of great distress as though trying to keep their head above the water. Now, at this point, you may be thinking, hold on, aren't all fossilized animals dead? And so they would have shown great distress no matter what because they were, dying? Or you might think, wait a minute, if Mary Lou believes in fossils, why doesn't she believe in the fossil record, which clearly shows no evidence of a global flood, but does show plenty of evidence that dinosaurs lived 60 to 200 million years ago, long before any humans showed up on the planet? But you would be a fool to think those things, because Mary Lou has transcended all logic. For instance, Mary Lou also believes that Barack Obama, President of the United States, was a gay prostitute in his 20s who sold his body for drug money. She said that. She actually said that. Oh, for the days of birth certificate truthers. Speaking of Obama, she also believes that she's on Obama's terrorist watch list. And she knows this because the result of it is that sometimes her Facebook posts don't show up right when she posts them. I mean, they eventually show up, but not for like a couple of days. The only good news is that she does find common ground with many atheists, including Richard Dawkins, in that she hates Muslims and believes that Ahmed Mohammed, the clock boy, profited from, and I quote, an evil scheme to give the Muslim boy an opportunity to claim he was profiled because he is a Muslim. There's more, so much more, but I'll leave it there in the hopes that it's enough to convince you to pay attention to what is happening this election cycle. Yes, if you live in Texas, make sure that Mary Lou Bruner is not going to get that school board seat. But even if you don't live in her district, you need to watch what's happening, not just who's running for president of the United States, but pay attention to who's running for senator, state senator, and yes, even school board, especially the school board in your local district, because right now your very own Mary Lou may be running for an open seat in the hopes that she might set the standards for the kids who will one day be running the country. So please choose wisely.